What's up, guys? Rob here, CLG, bringing you another competitive deck tech series. Now, I had a couple of people email me and message me on Facebook about asking for some budget lists. So, uh, one of my favorite budget lists that I play with is FoW the Dragoon, which is Bahamut, which is in essence your red deck wins for your Magic players or your mono fire rush deck. So it's a fast weenie beat down burn deck. So, um, here's the budget version. For you guys that are looking for something that's basically pretty cheap, but packs a pretty big punch. And the thing is, like, the majority of like the red weenies, the red weenie decks, is like you can sub out like Bahamut for Bloody Snow White, or a couple others. There's a couple other rulers that you can play with, but I like playing with Bahamut just because you're able to J activate him pretty early, and almost almost always really early. And if your opponent doesn't have an answer for him, he can put a lot of pressure really quick. So let's go ahead and look at him. It's FoW the Dragoon. J activate, of course, is banish a fire resonator. So for all you for the new players, when it says banish a fire resonator, you're not actually able to target your opponent's fire resonators. Think of banish as the term, or the keyword sacrifice. So you basically have to banish one of your own fire resonators. Also, as activate is rest, and you can search your main deck for a dragon resonator, reveal it, and put it in your hand, and shuffle your deck. So the only dragon you're really going to be searching for, if you ever even get to the, I mean, he should always be getting to the point where he's just beginning to flip, and you're just beating with 1,000. He's a thousand beat stick. I mean, you want to be, you just go into the red zone with him. But I mean, if you do search, we run a couple copies of the 6-drop Guild Array. So let's go ahead and look at Bahamut. So after you J-activate and you banish a Fire Resonator, you see there's 1,000 flying J ruler. So, but when he enters, he deals damage equal to the sacked creature's attack to a resonator of your choice. So you'll see this basically on average you're going to do at least 500 to 700. So it usually able to early on, you flip him early and answer one of their turn 1, turn 2 plays, which is really good. He also has activate, banish of our resonator, and he gains imperishable. For new players, imperishable is whenever he dies, if he does get answered, usually via double thunder, or he just gets attacked into a bunch. He flips back over to his ruler side. And if you can J-activate him again by banishing another Fire Resonator on your turn, well, hey, he flips back over again. So it's really good. One of the ways, I mean, he just keeps on going. He's just a beat stick. So let's go ahead and look at the stone deck. As you can see, it's very budget. It's got the 1 true stone and then 9 basic Stones of Flames, which really don't need anything. I mean, granted, you can upgrade it and make it a lot better and have, say, 4 heat rays or 4 blasting waves, or whatever you want your sideboard tech to be, or even if you want to play main deck spells like Dream of Juliet, which goes really well with your swiftness creatures or your haste creatures, or just any other sideboard strategies or main deck tech cards you want to play. But you kind of want to keep it as basically all flames you can, because there's a lot of, like, Lugaroo is just a straight up 3 flame creature, and you really want to hit him on curve. So dropping him on 3 is really imperative to what your strategy of the deck is, basically what you're trying to do. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Molest is it taps for a fire, or you pay a fire, tap it, and then your J ruler resonator, if it deals damage, is an additional plus 200. So it's a really solid little stone. Starts off, now there's a couple slots in here that you can basically trade out for other spells. I'll go over them real quick, but you have Thunder, 4 copies of Thunder, which is straight up staple. Then you have 4 copies of the Dragon King's Flame. I know some people run Purifying Flame or Purifying Fire. I think I have it right here, which is, I mean, it is 1 mana. It does cost 1 mana less, but the thing is like, Dragon's King Flame targets a creature or a player, and it deals 800 because you're playing Bahamut. Purifying Fire, while it does deal 700 to a player for 2 mana, It doesn't have the versatility of being able to kill like a creature if you need to kill, like, say, a Carmilla, or basically just anything that's, an 800 power or 800 defense creature, which there's a lot of them. 800's a pretty prevalent number for a majority of creatures. So, I mean, granted, you don't get to deal 1,000 to a human, which has a lot of J rulers. A lot of human J rulers out there, but I mean, it's kind of meta dependent. So you kind of judge what your tournament's looking like, and just make the best choice. Now, one slot that could be a couple different things. It could be rapid decays. It could be dual of truths. But I kind of like playing Poison Apple simply because it does synergize with a couple of my swiftness creatures to kind of get like 1,500 to 1,700 damage just out of nowhere that my opponent's not expecting. But it also allows me to, whenever I go to J activate my Bahamut, if I need to remove something like big, like a Mephistopheles that may be like brick walling me, I can Poison Apple a majority of my creatures, and then attack, sack it off, so I have the answer, and just kind of remove brick walls. So it is pretty nice. It has the unexpected surprise of, haha, here's a couple thousand damage, or it's a removal spell if I'm able to J-activate. But yeah, those run 11 spells, so that's pretty much pretty straightforward. At least these two are straightforward. The Poison Apple can be almost like I said, it can be Rapid Decay, Dual of Truth. And actually there's a couple other things that you can actually play too. So let's go into the Resonators. It's running the Werewolf package, so you have the 1-drops, the typical 1-drops of Wolf Haunted in the Black Forest, so 500, 300. You have the Hunter in the Black Forest, which is a 300, 300 Swiftness. Then you have, I play 7 Doors, and the reason why I play 7 Doors is he's a 2-drop 700, 700, which for power to cost ratio is really above curve for 2-drops. And the simple fact that it doesn't matter if you want him, or if he has to attack every turn, because you want him to attack every turn. And having a 700 powered guy is it's really good. It allows you to if you do attack with this and they block, you can just munch whatever their guy is, or just being able to attack 700 and then a lot of times what ends up happening is I'll attack with 7 Doors, and usually he eats Cheshire Cats all day, but more often than not is I'll attack with 7 Doors, and if it gets in, or if they let it through because they want to keep a decent sized creature. That early on, being able to sack it to Bahamut and deal 700 to something usually kills almost anything. Early on, except maybe if they turn Elvis Priest turn 1, turn 2 into Telefairy Tale for Pied Piper, which even then while Pied Piper is a nuisance. A lot of your stuff has swiftness, so you really don't have. I mean, you can pretty much race, and throw out some curveball, some speed bumps to kind of stop it. So, but you have 7 Doors, 2-drop for 7. Cost to power ratio, like I said, is above average, so it's really good. You have your Moon Knight Pouncer, typical werewolf staple, gets first strike and swiftness. A lot of people actually forget about the first strike whenever you're playing them. It's like they know it gets swiftness, but it's just people forget to read the cards. It's just, if you've played a lot of tournaments, you always have at least that one opponent out of however many rounds that you just goes, I completely forgot about that, and usually it's always the first strike. So, and that, first strike is big. Then of course we have Beowulf. Only running 3 copies of Beowulf and Lou because I had to make room. To be honest, Lou should probably be at 4. Beowulf. Now, see, my issue with Beowulf is he almost always dies. It's very rare that he ever gets to deal, double damage. Because he's almost always he has a big sign that says "Bolt me" or "Thunder me" is basically what he says. But I mean, if you do, I mean, you get to live the dream. I mean, I've lived the dream a couple times, being able to poison Appling, and hitting for 2,600 in the game was just pretty much over at that point. So I mean, there are times that if your opponent, if he lets him hit you, then he's kind of asking for it, or his hand's just really that bad. So then of course Lugaroo. Well, what can I say? He gives all your werewolf swiftness or haste for your magic guys, and for all you magic guys out there, he is basically Hellrider. Whenever one of your werewolves attack, he does 100. If you control a moon, which we'll get to, we have 3 copies of the Bloody Moon, he deals 200 instead. Pretty self-explanatory. He's a 3-drop, 700, 700 that comes into play, and if he's not answered, yeah, he can deal some damage. So. Then there's some finishers, with some added reach. We have Gild the Ray, the Golden Dragon. Pretty self-explanatory. Since you're playing, pretty much all fire, more often than not, he's going to come in as at least an 1,800 to a 1,800 to a 2,000. So he's able to close out. He's usually able to close the game out on turn 6. So if your opponent is, isn't saving a stone to death, or some way to answer it, and then he's pretty much just gonna be game over. And then of course you also have Little Dread, the fake red moon, and the card's really, really good. I don't know if playing more than 2 is correct. Maybe 3, but I don't think any more than that. Target attack is huge. But it's really all about the second awakening ability. The first awakening ability. Now, awakening for you new players is, think of it as kicker, if you're a Magic player. Or basically, I pay my 1 colorless and my 2 fire, and then I have the option of either I can pay an extra fire, and target resonator gets plus 600, minus 600 until end of turn, and I can pay a fire and a colorless, and then it enters play. I recover target resonator, and it gains I gain control of it, and it gains haste or swiftness until end of turn. So it's just another way of being able to jack a creature. One of the best ways that I've closed out games versus like Abdul, for instance, is being able to play a Little Dread, stealing their Mephistopheles. I mean, granted, yes, you do lose the 500 points of damage, but you're getting a 1,500 flying haste creature, and you're just bashing them in the face for 1,500, and they usually can't come back from taking a hit like that. So it's definitely really solid. I mean, there's different you can play. I mean, I've seen people play 4 Little Dreads and no dragons, but I just like splitting it up with 2 and 2, just to kind of diversify, having a flying option and then having something that's just going to steal. And then lastly, of course, you have the Bloody Moon. It gives all your werewolves plus 200, plus 200. It boosts Lugaroo's trigger, attacking werewolves from 100 to 200. But basically, the best use for Bloody Moon, which I've been playing it. I'm testing it now at 3. It was a solid 4 of. But I'm just kind of testing some numbers. So feel free to change numbers up however you feel. But like I said, it was 4, simply because one of the best things you can do with this, especially being on the play, is the only ability on it to activate, is you banish it to destroy target special magic stone, which more often than not, the majority of the competitive players you're going to be playing are going to be playing dual stones. So taking them off of a mana stone, or putting them a turn back, can be really critical, especially being on the play. It stops them from J-activating some that require 3 or 4. Or it stops them from getting to say like Carmilla mana, or just being able just to slow them down, while you have creatures that are just swiftness and bigger and just kind of getting in there, and being able to disrupt your opponent's game plan is a very solid strategy. So I mean, it should probably be back at 4, but like I said, I'm just testing, and right now it's at 3, and overall the deck does what it does. It's definitely something that if you're playing in a competitive tournament, you definitely need to have at least it in your gauntlet, or at least some version of a mono fire list in your gauntlet, because it's, yeah, it's there. It's, it's a very cheap, very affordable, or cheap affordable um, deck that, yeah, it's pretty consistent. It has a solid curve, as you can see. The spells 1, 2. There's like ones and twos, up to threes, and then of course Little Dread. These are the big ones at the end of the curve. But it has a very, very solid curve, and it applies, very, very consistent pressure. So yeah, that's basically the Bahamut list, and yeah, he's pretty much a beat stick. If you guys need any singles, again, feel free to check out cyberlordgames.com. We have a contest giveaway going on this month for a 4 times playset, or a playset basically, of Cheshire Cats. 2 other lucky winners will each win one of the pre-order print run, first print run playmats, either Little Red or Dracula. So yeah, check out the website. Check out all of our other videos. Like, comment, and subscribe. Feel free to share, guys. Trying to do as much content as I have, as much as I can. Very, very busy, but I definitely want to continue to keep putting content out for everybody, because I know you guys love content. And yeah, other than that, thanks for watching. Deck Tech on Fault Gold Dragoon, or Bahamut the Dragon King. I'll throw up some more budget lists, and yeah, tell me what you think about the deck. Feel free to test it out. What changes would you make? Or if you have a Bahamut list or a mono fire list, feel free to share. I mean, it's the more lists that get out there, the more ideas people get to fool around. It helps everybody. So yeah, other than that, like I said, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for checking it out. And yeah, I'm gonna go get some sleep. So you guys take it easy. Bye.